Hello everyone and welcome to another video of books that I would like to read featuring a specific topic. So in this particular one, I'm going with sports. I don't know much about sports. I do like sports. Yeah. So I do like watching sports and would like to learn more about sports. I think they're a great team building, although they can be cliquish from what I hear, but they can also be a great source of team building and exercising team awareness. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of good things about sports. So for this particular sport, I'm talking basketball. I like basketball. I don't know a lot of the stuff, but I do know where the 3-point line is, and that other shots are 2 points. You have the foul shots, but I don't know. I think touching, if you touch them, it's a foul. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. So anyway, but I do like watching it. I like the sound of the basketball hitting the ground. Anyway, I like that sound. So 4 books that I want to read that feature basketball as the main subject in this book. So number 1 is called Boy 22, and this is by Matthew Quick. And this book is a YA contemporary. So this one you're following Finley, and basketball is life. Finley uses basketball as an escape outlet or escapism from his everyday life. I can totally relate, except I use books as an escapism, so as a way to escape. So I think we all can relate to Finley in that way, having something that you can just dive into and escape the worries and stresses of life. Anyway, so that's what Finley does. Finley lives in a town that is ruled by an Irish mob. I'm also intrigued by that. I have Irish ancestry. So I don't know, that just the thing kind of just made me go, oh, okay. So Irish mob, ruled by an Irish mob. There's also a plethora of drugs and violence, and there's also racial rivalries, I believe is what it says. Yes, racial rivalries. So we're going to have a little racial tension in there as well. Hopefully it is done well and respectably. So just something to have a heads up on. Anyway, Finley is referred to as the White Rabbit because he is the only white person on his basketball team. So there's that. We're also going to be following Russ. Now Russ, his life has been turned upside down by a major tragedy. I don't know what it is. The synopsis didn't allude to anything about what the tragedy is. I also just kind of skimmed the synopsis, so it may have been there and I just completely missed it. But tragedy. And now Russ only answers people. If someone says Russ, according to the synopsis, he doesn't answer to that. He only answers when someone calls him Boy 21. That is his former basketball jersey number, and I think 21 is also the basketball number of Finley's jersey. That's kind of what I gathered from that synopsis. Also, Russ is obsessed with outer space, so I love outer space too. Don't know where to start with any of it, but yeah. So there is that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Number 2 is called The Final Four. I know what The Final Four is. And I remember there was this one year I was in junior high, the Utah Jazz made it to the Final Four. I can't remember, and this was in the 90s when it was like John Stockton, Michael, I don't know, there was Stockton, Malone. Anyway, I don't remember their names, but they were like the big wigs for the Utah Jazz in the 90s. But they obviously didn't win the Final Four, but it was very exciting. So anyway, so this one, The Final Four, this is written by Paul Volponi, and this is a YA contemporary as well. So this one we're following Malcolm, and Malcolm really wants to get into the NBA. We're also following Roko, R-O-K-O. Roko wants to be the pride of his native Croatia. So we're following different characters. There's actually 4 characters that it mentions, and each have different desires. So I think we're going to be flipping between different perspectives. 2 more that I will mention. We have Crispin, just wants his dream girl. And then MJ wants, just wants a chance. That's it. Just give MJ a chance. So we're following these 4 characters. We'll be flipping, it sounds like, between perspectives and seeing how their lives intertwine and how basketball is a main focus in their lives at this point. And it does mention, too, that this takes place during March Madness. Now, I don't know in basketball terms if, like, the Final Four, because I don't remember it being called March Madness when I was in junior high. It was big being called the Final Four, or if that's been replaced by March Madness. I don't know. But anyway, this takes place during March Madness, and I'm guessing they're all on different teams, hence the title Final Four. There you go. Okay, number 3, Here to Stay. This is by Sara Farizan, and this is also a YA contemporary. So this one we follow, this is going to be a harder read because we're following Bijan, I'm guessing. Anyway, so we're following Bijan is what I'm going to say. And Bijan makes the winning basket for the basketball team. He's been on the bench. He's called off the bench. He makes the winning basket for the team. Well, that sets things in motion. He starts getting threats. People are saying he needs to leave the country. You've got a lot of, like, because of his race or his ethnicity, he shouldn't have done that. There's this photo that appears that it's photoshopped, and it depicts Bijan as a terrorist. And obviously his mother is not happy. The school gets involved, and there are some people in the school and in the community that don't want him. They don't want his type at the school. And it gets to a point where he has trouble telling his friends from his enemies. And can you ever really tell until a very pivotal moment, or just past that pivotal moment, when a person is your friend or an enemy? And so I think this will be very hard. I hope this is a good book and is done respectfully, and is done well. But I really look forward to this one. But this will definitely be a hard-hitting topic, and probably something that really needs to be read and reinforce that it doesn't matter what your race is. We're all human beings and should be treated with respect, and you shouldn't be ridiculed just because of your race and left out. And I could go into a whole thing about that. It just bugs me when people are treated differently like that. And anyway, let's go ahead and just move on, because that's already upsetting me. So this book is going to be hard, but I really think it'll be a good read. Okay, so the 4th book that I'm going to talk about is A Map to the Sun. Now this is also a YA, but this is a graphic novel. So this one we're following 2 girls who meet and become friends, I believe in the summer, and then one has to move to Oahu, I believe. Yes, Oahu. So the 2 girls are Ren and Luna. So I think Ren ends up at Luna's high school or vice versa. And let me see, I have a note. Ren and Luna meet again in high school. That's all I have. But anyway, so let's say Ren moves to the high school and Luna is a part of the school's basketball team. So they try to become friends and rekindle a friendship on and off the basketball court. So, I just don't remember if it's Ren that moves to Oahu and meets Luna at the school or vice versa. And this is like years later, so they're friends like when they're 12 and now they're in high school. I believe is kind of what it said. Anyway, so, there's really not much to be said about a graphic novel. So I think that sounds really cool. I like books where friendships hopefully blossom, and it's trying to figure out if you really are still a good fit to be friends, or is it going to end up being a toxic relationship, or can you be friends on the court but not off, or vice versa. And so there's a lot that can come into play in that, and I think it looks good. It sounds good. It looks good too. That sounds good. Anyway, so those are the 4 books that I want to read that have basketball as a predominant feature in the book. So I'm looking forward to all of these. Do you have any books that you particularly enjoy that features basketball? Let me know in the comments below. In the description box, you'll find links to all of my social media information if you'd like to befriend on any of those platforms as well. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.